All right, let's go ahead and look at number 18. It says the graph shows the changes in the number of species in an ecosystem. Which of the following best explanation, or is the best explanation, of what happened to the species diversity between 1980 to 1994? All right, so let's first, before we even start looking at the answer choices, let's kind of take a sec to really see what's going on in this graph, right? Because sometimes it can be overwhelming. So this is telling us, this graph is going to tell us about species diversity. And when you see the word diversity, go ahead and relate it to the word different. Okay? Now let's look at our y-axis. So you always want to look at your axes, right? Because that's going to tell you what's going on. What's increasing or what's decreasing. So here on our y-axis, from 0 to 300, it's telling us as it goes up, we are increasing the number of what? The number of species, okay? And then the x-axis, sorry, is telling us that over the time period, which is starting from 1980 and it's going all the way through 1994. Okay, so now that we've taken a bit to kind of look at our graph, let's go ahead and start looking at our answer choices, because the question is asking us to give the best explanation as to what happened between 1980 and 1994. So for sure, I can see here I would say I started off pretty high, right? Then what happened? I kind of just took a dip here, and then, well, let me do this, because that's not going to be that accurate. I took a big major decline here, and then what happened? It started increasing over time. Do y'all see that? Okay, now let's look at our answer choices. It's saying A, the species diversity decreased from 1890 to 1994 due to natural disaster. Well, we do know when there's a natural disaster, what should we relate that word to? What should be our buzzword? Succession, right? I'm just going to put an S here for succession. Well, yeah, it really did decline. But what happened here after 1980? Did it keep going down? No, it started to creep up, right? It didn't creep up all the way, but it started to creep up. So we're going to go ahead and mark out A. Now let's look at B. The species diversity declines in 1980 due to a natural disaster and increases after due to an ecological succession. Well, guys, it did decrease to 1890, and here it's telling us that it increases. And I want to say, yeah, it did creep up, right? So B looks pretty good, but let's go ahead and look at all of our answer choices, right? C, the species diversity remains constant. Now it's telling us it remains constant over time. Guys, constant means when you see the word constant, think of straight line. So if that's the case, then I should have a straight line from here all the way across my graph. And is that what happens? No, because it dips, right? It dips down, then it creeps back up. So C, not looking too good. Let's finish this up and look at D. The species diversity increases in 1980 due to a natural disaster and declines after due to an ecological succession. So, guys, this is what's important is when you start seeing keywords like a natural disaster, that's when you kind of analyze the graph, you're like, oh, the species went down. So yeah, there must be a natural disaster. And the word succession looks good. So D could have been kind of misleading, but what's important is you got to look at the keywords here because it's telling you that it increased in 1980 due to a natural disaster, but instead it didn't increase, right? It decreased. And then after time it increased. And here it's telling you that it declined, that it decreased. So be careful and be mindful when you analyze a graph like this and then look out for keywords because B and D are very similar, but the important keywords here are talking about decline and talking about an increase, right? So that makes B to be the right answer choice, okay?